Anya Gertsen. I am from Paraguay. I'm a lawyer working in advocacy and protection of children's rights. The situation in Paraguay is one that we have seen to be very important to protect children and families. Statistics tell us, recent studies from Plan done in 2010 tell us that 6 out of every 10 children suffer some form of abuse, physical and emotional abuse, within their families. And of those children, more than 90% have considered this kind of treatment to be normal. This means that the cultural practice of mistreatment of children and families is something that has been normalized. So we really need to work on changing the paradigm, the form of thinking in the culture in Paraguay. We have recent laws that prohibits any form of physical discipline within the family, and this is to help parents and families understand the importance of good treatment, of respect, of guidance, of teaching of children, but in respectful ways. But laws are not the only answer. We need to bring these laws into practice. We need to do awareness raising. We need to train parents. We need to support them. We need to give them the alternatives of positive guidance, of positive child raising, and how they can do it in a practical way, and how they can change experiences that they have had as children where they were abused and living in abusive situations in their homes, so that they can change the situation of the children, and so that the children can grow up and be a different kind of family that cares for and protects all of children's rights. So this is our challenge in Paraguay, and we are working together with the government, together with civil society, trying to implement this awareness raising and this training of parents on a national scale.
My name is Raida. I'm from Republic of Azerbaijan. My home country takes a huge care of children, creates conditions for all-round development of children. We have ratified a huge number of international conventions, implementing state programs in the field of protection of children's rights. The issues concerning legal and social protection of children are regulated by the Constitution of the Republic of Azerbaijan, by law on prevention of domestic violence, law on children's rights, criminal code, and administrative offences code. The child abuse in the families is a serious problem in all over the world. The main goal in preventing child abuse is clear: to stop this violence from happening in the first place. Safe, stable, nurturing relationships and environment for all children and families can prevent child abuse, can help children to reach their full potential. It's overwhelming agreement that early support before child is psychologically damaged or physically harmed would be of enormous benefits. Regardless of type of child abuse, the result is a big emotional harm. But there is a help available. If you are suspecting the child is being abused, it's important to speak up. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Rose Egesa from Uganda. I work with children, and one of the things I believe we can do to stop violence against children is to ensure that parents play their role. Parents have an obligation to care and protect their children. When they do this, violence against children will reduce. And the other thing I feel is all the child protection structures need to play their role. The local leaders, the probation officers, the police. When we kind of protect, all of us play our role in the protection of the children, violence will be minimized. Then we all also need to have a collective responsibility in caring and protecting the children, teaching, guiding the children and protecting them instead of abusing them. And also government has to play its role to ensure that children are protected, children are provided for, children are not abused. When in case of abuse, perpetrators should be brought to book. Thank you so much. I believe when we do that, we will stop violence against children in Uganda and all over the world.
Okay, my name is Evelyn, and I'm a health counselor and also a certified substance abuse addiction treatment counselor for the South Pacific region. And I want to advocate the rights of children to live a healthy and fulfilled life, free of violence, free of bullying and all kinds of forms of abuse. to be healthy holistically, body, soul, and spirit. Because I believe that a child who is emotionally damaged at a young age will have a high risk of achievement and having confidence to achieve their dreams and their goals. And so my message is the perpetrator for those who are abusing children should be punished in the highest level of criminal court. And so that's my message.
Hello, my name is Venera and I work in the area of child protection, and I'm currently working for UNICEF, and I just like to share a little bit about my work and specifically about children's rights. Children, it's our responsibility to ensure that children have a happy childhood. And as we all know, children are also entitled to children's rights, and one of the important rights is right to protection from violence and abuse and neglect. And in view of this, I would like to say that it's really important that we all collectively work together to eliminate violence against children, because we all know that violence has irreversible, can have really negative impact on the children's life and their development and well-being. And therefore it's important that we do everything in our capabilities to address this issue at a large scale. And one of the things that is important is to develop services for those children who have suffered from violence or abuse. And it's important that we do this in a very child-sensitive and child-centered way. It's also important that we also focus on the prevention, because it's always better to prevent this problem. And therefore, in the area of prevention, we need to talk about not only the negative impact of corporal punishment on children, but we also need to equip the parents on how to address violence against children. So, in other words, how they can discipline their children in a positive way. So we need to equip them and share with them some skills that they can use in their practice, in their daily lives. And lastly, I would like to say that every child deserves really the best start in their life, so we should really do everything in our hands to do for children. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Katya Antia. I came from Georgia. I work for a healthcare association of independent hospitals in Georgia and Georgian Health Foundation, which aims to improve healthcare system in Georgia, and especially inequalities in health and child protection. I think that these inequalities in health and especially inequalities among children are a global issue, and we all developing as well as developed countries need to make interventions and policy to protect children, to prevent them against violence and to protect their rights, because children as an adult has the right to be healthy and has the right to enjoy this life and to to show their full potential. And against the violence, unfortunately, is very common in developing countries as well as developed countries, and any kind of violence within children is and within children, any kind of violence have to be protected, because this affects children's mental health as well as their physical health. And we think and we hope that every children and every family have to take care of themselves to make their child's life as better as possible. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Elena. I'm a psychologist and trauma therapist, and I work with children and their parents, and I know a problem with violence in Ukraine. And I explain to parents that any event fits into the experience. We do not just remember the experience of emotional or physical violence against us. This experience splits and changes our personality. But we also remember the state of the rapist, and his brain copy is being postponed to the brain. And the aggressor becomes part of identity. And already with the passage of time, at the stress time, we simply reproduce that scenario of violence that has developed in the brain, activate our demon. Such a mechanism of injury, so violence is transmitted along the chain. But it is a legacy that we so want, so convey to our descendants. I believe that violence can be stopped by opposing love and the desire to have.